Good day, everyone. Kevin Baylor, CTO and Managing Partner of Alliance IT. I wanted to continue here in our next little segment talking about documentation when it comes to business continuity planning, disaster recovery, and that whole recovery plan. When it comes to documentation, you want to avoid that documentation scramble of when you need something and you can't find it and it's pertinent to either implement the business continuity plan or kick off that recovery plan. If you can maintain an up-to-date documentation manual or set of manuals with all that pertinent information, it's definitely going to make your life easier when you need it. It's going to improve the stress level of when you have to implement business continuity plan or coming back up to speed in your recovery plan. Some of those things from a technical perspective that you want to have in that documentation, anything critical in your IT environment, router information, router logins. If you have VPN information, you want to have that in there as well. If you've got multiple locations, you want to definitely document that for each location as well. If you're doing any kind of remote connectivity, you're going to want to have that documentation in there. How do folks remote in? If you've got the ability, create a list of who is remoting in. This way you already know who has that capability, and if we have to all of a sudden deploy a 100% remote workforce, then you've got the information of who's going to need to get that information so they can work remotely and effectively as well. In addition, you're going to want to remind employees what they're responsible for in this remote work environment. They've got to be able to provide, internet service, and they've got to be able to have a computer at home, or maybe they have a business laptop that's provided and they can connect to it. So make sure that, in that documentation somewhere is just basically a communication plan with your employees that says, hey, we're going to make sure you have everything that you need to be successful, but here's the things that you need to make sure that you have to be successful as well. And continue to communicate with your employees. Make sure they know that you're there for them to support them while they're going through these transition periods as well. Your HR department probably has policies in place to cover some of that, but if they don't, you want to make sure that that's documented in the HR manual or employee manual somewhere along the line. If we get down to BYOD, bring your own device policies, you want to make sure that's communicated out as well. It's always a fine line when you're putting company information on personal devices, whether it's a cell phone, a tablet, home computers. You got that home computer that's shared between a couple of brothers and they're gaming with Roblox and Minecraft as well, and you have sensitive company data on there. There may be some concerns. So again, if this is documented ahead of time, communicated out ahead of time, regardless of what you need to deploy in your business continuity plan, it's going to make everyone's life easier. And as things change, make sure you go back and update that documentation. There's a few programs out there that have definitely surfaced over the last several months and year or so that can help you with documenting those processes and keeping that documentation together. One of them is bit.ai. That's bit.ai. It's really kind of a next-gen documentation collaboration for businesses to help keep their teams together and also working with their clients and customers. There's also another program out there called PLEO. PLEO is a great process documentation tool. It helps you walk through your processes, document those processes. So it's something you could do for each division or department as part of your business continuity plan, what each team leader may need to do. So that way it's very defined and segmented as to who needs to do what and when. And last, there's another one called Confluence. It's a great tool that helps you, create and collaborate in keeping all your teams together and their documentation for their individual processes, looking at the business continuity plan as a whole for the organization. So again, document, keep it updated, and communicate great ideas and great steps to make that business continuity plan successful and that recovery plan when we're back to normal. Have a great day.